everybody, it's time for another one of my delicious dishes, and today I have something really unique, and I hope you stay with me for the whole thing because it's just too weird not to try, and the result is amazing. Trust me. So when you hear the title of this, please don't duck out. I'll give you a little backstory first. Some of the girls here at the library found a blogger, I guess, or TikToker or something, I don't know. Anyway, this guy has a cookbook from like the turn of the last century, like the early 1900s, and he makes these recipes from like 1900 to 1930, and some of them are pretty unique, and so he makes them up, and either they're really good and some are really bad and some are just hilarious to watch. But the girls said, you need to try one of these. So I did. So they inspired me to make this cake, and yes, it's weird, but the result is so good. My 8-year-old loved it, the farmer loved it, my folks loved it, so try this, okay? This, bear with me, is tomato soup cake. Yeah, condensed tomato soup. Bear with me, it's great. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is take your can of tomato soup. This is just El Cheapo condensed tomato soup, nothing fancy here, and we're going to put that in a bowl. Okay, scrape that out. All right, can you see me? Do I need to adjust? Let's see. Hi. There we go. Now maybe you have a little bit better view. Okay, tomato soup, nothing fancy. And then, this is the fun part. This is the part that made my son go, ooh. So this is baking soda. And you're gonna put in 2 teaspoons. Okay, so what's gonna happen when you put baking soda in your tomato soup that's acidic? It's gonna fizz, okay? So as soon as you put this in here, it's gonna fizz. So make sure you put your tomato soup in a big bowl. And then whisk it up. And already it's turning pink. Can you see that? The baking, it's getting foamy. It's kind of fizzing at me. Okay, the baking soda is gonna react with the tomato soup. It's gonna create lift, and it's gonna make your cake rise. Okay, so we're gonna let that set for a minute. Then I have 1 cup of sugar and a half a stick of butter, that's a 1/4 cup, that I've already creamed together, so you don't have to listen to my mixer today. And then I want to add 1 whole egg and mix that up. I'm just going to use my same whisk here and mix it up. Goes pretty quick. Okay. Alright, the next thing I need is, let me check my recipe. Okay. Now I'm going to take my tomato soup, pour it in here. Make sure I get these in the right order. Okay, do you see him? He's all bubbly. It's crazy, right? It's really cool. How they come up with some of these things, I don't know. I don't know if this was a Depression era recipe and this was all they had. I don't know if this was a 1950s recipe that maybe the soup company came up with to try their brand new condensed tomato soup. But it's fun. And it turns out great. Okay, so that's all mixed. And then here's the part that's going to make it different. Okay, I need 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. This is just El Cheapo pumpkin pie spice. If you had apple pie spice, that's pretty similar. Could probably use that as well. 2 nice big teaspoons. And it smells good. Okay, that is going to mask the tomato flavor. Promise, tastes like pumpkin. Okay, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay. And we're going to mix that just a bit. Make sure we get all of our spices incorporated. Okay, so we have this pumpkin pie spice, we have the salt, and now we have to add the flour, and we have 1.5 cups of flour. And you want to mix in your spices and leavening agents first, because if you overmix the flour, the gluten develops and you get a tough cake. Okay, so 1.5 cups, there's 1 cup, here's 1/2 cup. So 1.5 cups flour, and I'm going to switch to my spatula. Don't overmix this, just mix it till it's combined. And you'll notice I'm doing this all by hand today because those mixers get kind of loud. Okay, so just until we're all combined, and then we have 1 cup of raisins. You could leave these out. I don't recommend it. They're quite tasty. Okay, cup of raisins. They're all stuck together. These are fresh raisins. If you have walnuts or something, you could definitely chop those up and add them as well. I'm just breaking up the big clumps because I don't want a whole clump of raisins. Yeah, walnuts would be really nice in here too. I don't happen to have any today. I'm following the recipe, but it's a good add-in. Okay, there's my cup of raisins. Oop, put him back over there. Again, break up the big clumps. And fold in gently. Oh, it smells good already. It smells so good. Okay, just like that. He's combined. Now, you're going to take your blue spray that lets everything come out of the pan. And if you have a fancy little bundt pan like this is my grandma's. She would be very proud of me. Anyway, I'm going to spray this really well. Again with my blue baking spray because nothing sticks to that. Okay, and then I'm just going to plop this in here. I'm going to put some in and turn my pan. And put some in and turn my pan. Okay, the reason I'm doing that is so I get the batter distributed evenly around the pan. This is very thick, as you can see. So pouring it in one spot is just not going to work. It's not going to flow around your pan. So put some in and turn your pan. Scrape down our bowl, make sure we get it all. Very nice. Scrape your spatula off. Okay, you know what comes next. It's the loud part. This is a bundt pan, so it has all these fancy little flutes. So of course I want to tap this on the counter and get rid of all of the air bubbles and make sure that the batter goes down into those fancy flutes, okay? Okay, so it's tapped down. If you look at it now, it's nice and even. Looks good in there. Okay, so this is going to go in a preheated 350-degree oven for about 45 minutes. Depending on your oven, it might take closer to 40, it might take closer to 50. You're just going to have to watch it. Do the toothpick test again. When the toothpick comes out clean, you'll know it's done. We'll be back in just a minute for the finished product, okay? Okay, so our cake is out of the oven now. It baked for about 45 minutes, and the toothpick came out clean, so I knew it was done. I let it cool in the pan for, probably 30 minutes, but really you only have to let it cool for 10 or 20 before you turn it out. And then you turn it onto a nice plate, and it came out beautifully, didn't it? It's gonna slide off my plate. Isn't that pretty? Looks nice. Now you could Sprinkle a little bit of confectioner's sugar over the top. That would be traditional. You could also do just a real simple powdered sugar and milk glaze like we did on the coffee cake. Or you could really go all out and do cream cheese frosting, and that would be delicious. When I made it last, I just put some whipped cream on it, and everybody loved it. So, here we go. I'm going to cut you a piece so you can see it. Doesn't that look nice? It's so tasty. Doesn't really look red, does it? It's surprising. It has all that tomato in it, and it comes out looking more like pumpkin bread. And that's really kind of what it tastes like. It does have raisins in it, remember, and we could also put walnuts in it if you would like. That would be a nice addition. But there it is. Tomato soup cake. It's really easy. Don't know where the recipe came from, but it's too crazy not to try. So definitely recommend this. Surprise all your family, okay? Happy cooking, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.